I'm going to teach you the side-to-side footwork. I'll show you how to do it. In boxing, we have 4 main directions that you need to learn at the basic and beginner level. In boxing, the directions and movements inside the ring are endless. That means you can't really count how many directions there are to move in, but we have 4 main directions. Forward, backward, left and right. These are the 4. We need to properly learn these 4 main directions at the basic and beginner level. After we've learned foot independence and how to move forward and backward, now we move on to side steps, starting with moving to the left. Pay close attention. While moving, the weight of the upper body should be balanced and distributed evenly on both feet. As the feet move, the upper body should not make any movement on its own. So when I move my front foot to the left, 1, 2, be sure to note that however much my front foot moves, my back foot should also move by the same amount. For example, if my front foot slides a few inches to the left, my back foot needs to follow and shift the same distance, keeping both feet aligned and balanced. Moves the same amount, and it lands exactly where the front foot moved, and we still have that imaginary line. Now, when moving sideways, we also have an imaginary line that passes between my feet. We should not cross these lines with our feet. If we do, it will cause imbalance. So, for lateral movement, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The upper body is still slightly turned to the right. Now, moving to the right. To move to the right, we start with the back foot first. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just like this. Now, turning to the left, start with the leading front foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now to the right, you start with the trailing back foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Foot positioning. Do not use your upper body weight to move your feet. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's begin with the fundamental footwork sequence. We will start with a 1-2 step moving to the right, then a 1-2 step moving forward, followed by a 1-2 step moving back. Next, we'll execute a 1-2 step to the left, another 1-2 step to the right, and finish the set with a final 1-2. Now, with that sequence established, we will continue to build on it. It is crucial to understand that after each and every training session, we as coaches are carefully observing. Depending on a combination of factors, such as the boxer's natural intelligence for the sport, the level of attention they maintain, and the sheer effort the boxer puts into their work, we can clearly see and measure how much progress they're making in their training. It's therefore very important for us to know precisely how our boxer is advancing and to quantify exactly how much they're improving day by day. The core principle to remember is that the more we repeat and diligently practice these essential basics, the better and higher quality boxing we will ultimately have in the future. Now, let's continue with the drill and focus on performing this footwork with significantly more stability and much better coordination. What this means in practice is that when I start moving, my feet should feel exceptionally light, and I must consciously step on the balls of my feet, not flat-footed. This allows for quicker, more explosive movement. Now, I want to demonstrate moving backward, then to the side, another step to the side, a third step to the side, then moving forward, and finally moving backward again. Observe the posture closely. The legs are kept springy, like a coiled spring ready to release. The hips are held in a similarly springy and athletic position. Your body weight must be perfectly distributed on both feet to maintain balance, and your head must remain in the center, aligned directly above your hips. This entire movement is then repeated. A critical point to remember is that when moving, we should never use our head or upper body to initiate the footwork. All movement must originate from the legs and hips. For the purpose of this specific exercise, for now, we are practicing out of our defensive guard. This allows us to focus purely on the mechanics of our feet and legs. So for now, we should concentrate on the specific sequence. When moving forward, always start with the lead foot first. Then, when you move backward, you must initiate the movement with the rear foot. When moving to the side, specifically your lead side, you start with the lead foot, and finally, when moving to the right or your rear side, you begin the step with the rear foot.
All right, let's begin the movement pattern. First, we go forward and then we go backward. Next, we move to the side and then we move to the right. Now for the second half of the pattern, we go forward again and then backward again. To finish the sequence, we move to the side and then to the side one more time.
So please, it is incredibly important that you pay very close attention to this next point, my dear friends and fellow practitioners. As you are performing each of the movements in this sequence, we must consciously avoid using our upper body weight or momentum to initiate the motion. Instead, you must make absolutely certain that your legs, which are the foundation of your power, are doing all of the work properly and effectively. Okay, now I am going to give you a more detailed explanation of this from the side view. First, you will want to place your feet approximately shoulder width apart. If you are right-handed, your right foot should be positioned back and it should be angled just slightly out to the right. However, since I am facing you for this demonstration, this is the basic position you should be in. It's important that your face is pointing directly forward. Make sure to distribute your upper body weight as evenly as possible on both of your legs. In addition to that, your head should be perfectly aligned right over the center of your pelvis. And then, once you are set in this stable position, I will start moving forward by leading with the front foot. And backward with the back foot. To the left with the left foot. To the right with the right foot. This is how I do my footwork. An incredibly important part here that I really want to explain to you in detail is the concept of balancing the upper body weight perfectly and evenly across both of your feet. That means just like this, maintaining that equilibrium and balancing the upper body weight on both feet is absolutely crucial and very important for everything that follows. For instance, if the upper body weight is shifted too far forward and is primarily on the front foot, the back foot consequently feels unusually light, and this sends the wrong, confusing signals to the brain, which in turn makes the front foot feel excessively heavy and burdened. Conversely, if the majority of the weight is placed on the back foot, the front foot then feels light and disconnected, while the back foot feels heavy, strained, and significantly overloaded. This situation inevitably creates a pronounced imbalance for a boxer, especially during dynamic footwork and fluid movement, and overall, over time, it will cause a cascade of problems throughout the boxer's entire kinetic system and foundational structure. So for all you boxers out there, please pay very close attention to this principle. The balance of the upper body weight should always be distributed evenly on both feet. Let's consider this again. If even a little bit more weight than is ideal is resting on the front foot, that front foot immediately feels that extra weight and pressure, and the back foot in response feels lighter. What this means in practice is that the back foot actually becomes lazier and less responsive, while the front foot becomes hyperactive and over-engaged, primarily because the front foot is constantly trying to compensate for the performance gap created by the underutilized back foot. Or, on the other hand, if you put more of your body weight on the back foot, the front foot becomes too light and creates a functional gap that the now overburdened back foot has to work much harder to fill. This constant compensation and imbalance causes significant disruptions during your training sessions, during actual boxing matches, and will ultimately create persistent long-term problems for any boxer. So let's begin. This concept of maintaining balance equally on both of your feet is truly very, very important for all of your footwork. In fact, it is the cornerstone. And for that reason, let's take a moment to stop and really check to see if we genuinely have that perfect balance on both feet while we are practicing and doing our footwork. Now, here is a critical point. It is extremely important, I cannot stress this enough, that we absolutely do not use the weight of our upper body to initiate or to propel our movement. A great many people, especially beginners, very easily and commonly make this fundamental mistake. But it is a habit that we must ensure we do not fall into. We absolutely shouldn't do it. Think about it this way. The weight of your upper body must remain centered and stable. Just like when we are walking normally down the street,
It needs to be perfectly balanced over both of your feet at all times. In our boxing footwork, we also need to consciously create this exact same balance of upper body weight distributed evenly on both feet, so that we can then easily and effectively use our feet to their absolute fullest potential for fighting and for boxing. This was the basic and truly fundamental 4-direction footwork item that I just explained to you in detail. I sincerely hope that it has been useful and insightful for you. Hello again to you, my dear friends. Right now, I want to take some time to explain a very important topic to you. This is about the basic and fundamental stance and footwork that every single boxer, right from the very beginning of their journey, must learn to perform correctly. This standard starting position is shoulder width apart. That means in this initial stance, we practice and perform all of our footwork with our feet positioned at shoulder width. Now, as a boxer continues to train and reaches much higher levels of skill, this concept becomes very, very important, my dear friends. When a boxer moves on to those higher levels, whether we are talking about advanced or even professional ranks, and they start throwing powerful punches, they learn to punch with proper technique, and their feet, according to the correct instructions coming from the brain, which are naturally based on the individual boxer's height and build, will be placed somewhat wider. Dear friends, please pay close attention to this point. The feet will naturally be placed wider, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that development. We shouldn't ever try to artificially restrict a boxer's feet from finding their optimal position. However, some boxers who happen to have weaker legs sometimes tend to open their feet much too wide, which is a flaw that is often seen during boxing matches and is definitely considered a mistake. But overall, the main takeaway is this: when we are at the basic and fundamental learning level, we always set our feet at shoulder width as the reliable standard for our stance. However, when we find ourselves at a higher elevation, what happens is that our legs instinctively spread apart a bit more. This is a response to the brain's instructions to help us keep our balance. So, the natural question is, why exactly do they spread more? These are correct instructions from the brain. We shouldn't interfere with these correct brain instructions if we've properly learned the basic training. The brain, based on those foundational lessons that have established our balance at the right level, makes the legs spread a bit more to balance the upper body's weight. This is very important. We shouldn't block these instructions from the brain. Why is that? Because the feet, right now my feet are positioned at about shoulder width apart. When I start striking and doing my footwork, look, my feet actually spread even wider. Why do my feet spread wider? So that I have better balance for striking. So that I can have better balance for switching positions, for coordinating hands and feet, for coordinating upper and lower body, and for other types of footwork. This aspect is very important for boxers at a higher level who are already throwing punches and feel that their stance is too wide. If your feet are a little wider than shoulder width, that's perfectly fine and completely correct. It's based on your brain's instructions to create balance for striking and for the movements we need to make in the ring and during matches, so we can easily execute our techniques and move properly. Dear friends, we explained the positioning of the feet. You should always place your feet at about shoulder width apart, ensuring that your right foot is also positioned at shoulder width, and then open them up slightly to achieve a stable base. For the orthodox stance, I bring my right foot back to the same width as my shoulders, maintaining that consistent distance. Balancing the weight of the upper body evenly on both feet is extremely important for stability and control. Now, in the particular stance we want to teach today, we angle both feet to the right, just like this. Placing your feet here or here would be incorrect, but in this specific way we angle the feet and also turn the upper body slightly to the right as well. There must be an imaginary straight line passing between the tip of the toes and the heel of the foot so that we can maintain this essential balance while performing footwork.
This alignment is crucial for effective movement and helps prevent losing your balance during practice or in a real situation. As we move forward, the fundamental rule is that we always start with the lead foot. As we have previously established, we begin moving forward by pushing from the ball of that foot. This technique is crucial because it provides superior balance, control, and the ability to accelerate smoothly. When moving backward, the exact opposite principle applies. We must start with the rear foot. You are essentially pushing yourself backward, creating space, and then allowing the lead foot to slide back to maintain your defensive structure. During any of these movements as we go, it is absolutely imperative that we must definitely move using the balls of our feet. This is non-negotiable for agile footwork. It keeps you light and responsive, like you are on a set of springs ready to change direction at a moment's notice. Being flat-footed, by contrast, roots you to the spot and makes any reaction significantly slower. Now, when we consider moving laterally to the left, I use my lead foot to initiate the step in this way. The left foot steps out, and the right foot immediately slides over to re-establish our original stance width. This is a push step method that ensures you never cross your feet and compromise your balance. Now to move to the right, I use my rear foot to push off and step out in this way, and the left foot quickly follows to restore that stable foundation. So let's review the core concept for forward, backward, lateral, left, and right movements. Pay very close attention. In whichever direction we want to move, the initiating foot, which is the foot already in that direction, must be the one that moves first. To go backward, the back foot moves. To go left, the left foot moves. To go right, the right foot moves. This is the golden rule. Now let's start by setting up our proper athletic stance. Usually the feet are positioned approximately shoulder width apart, and your knees must remain slightly bent. This bend is what creates a vital springiness in your legs. It lowers your center of gravity, which dramatically increases your stability, and it ensures your muscles are loaded and ready to move explosively. Your knees should never be too stiff or locked straight, so that we can move easily and use our feet with maximum effectiveness.
All right, dear friends, now we move on to the instruction about the half blade stance during lateral movements. That is, when we are moving laterally and performing pivot footwork, how should the upper body be positioned so that we maintain a half blade stance and stand in a half blade position? As we mentioned in previous sections, boxers who stand square tend to take more hits, while boxers who stand in a half blade stance naturally deflect more strikes and have better defense and control compared to those who stand square. Those who stand square receive more direct hits compared to those who stand in a half blade stance. So the first important point about the half blade style is that we take fewer hits. The best and most successful boxers in the world take fewer hits. So keep in mind, boxers who take fewer hits will be more successful. That's why we always stand in a half blade stance. You must always keep this in mind. When stepping forward and backward, we don't have any issues with our shoulders because we move in a relaxed manner. Now, we want to move sideways. Many boxers and fighters, when moving sideways, straighten their shoulders like this. Again, this style becomes stiff, meaning the risk of getting hit increases when moving sideways. So pay attention, dear friends. I'm teaching you this. When I want, I'm showing my hands so my shoulders are fully visible. When I want to move sideways, my foot moves to the left, but I don't change the position of my shoulders. It should look like this. Like this. Moving forward and backward doesn't cause any issues. Now, when I want to move sideways, my feet move to the side, but the upper body of the boxer in the semi-side stance doesn't change its shape. We start moving in that same semi-side stance so that we can dodge punches and throw punches ourselves. So while moving sideways, the feet move, but the upper body should remain in the same position. So pay attention. While moving, whether to the left or right, my shoulders don't become square. They stay in that same semi-side stance. Now, if we want to move forward or sideways, it should be like this. Pay close attention to this. I don't change the position of my shoulders. So while moving sideways, I don't change the shape of my shoulders. As I move with the same semi-side shoulder position, my feet start moving to the side. Practice these movements slowly and carefully and learn them properly. Now, let's move on to teaching how to maintain our shoulders in a semi-side position during the spinning footwork, and how to perform the footwork so that, while we're doing it, strikes may be thrown at us. When your shoulder is in that semi-profile stance, you receive fewer hits and can easily strike the boxer in front of you. So pay close attention. Our target is stationary, and we want to move laterally using our footwork without disrupting the shape of our shoulders. The foot moves first. We've taught this in previous lessons. When the foot moves, the shoulder maintains its semi-profile form. It doesn't lose its shape. The feet move. Pay close attention to this. It looks just like this. Now, when I move over to the right side, you'll notice the shape of my shoulder doesn't actually change at all. Then my right foot, which is my back foot in this position, also moves again in a similar fashion like this, shifting laterally. So my feet are moving laterally, but my shoulders maintain their semi-profile form. They do not lose their shape. If you look closely, you will notice that my feet are moving not only laterally, but also in a circular motion, yet the shape of my shoulders remains completely unchanged. To this side. To this direction. Please keep in mind, dear friends, that when your shoulders are maintained in a semi-profile position, your head is consequently also positioned in a way that you'll receive significantly fewer strikes from an opponent. So it's important to understand that when we move in this particular style, moving laterally, it's specifically so that we can more easily and effectively avoid any incoming strikes. While in motion, when a strike inevitably comes toward us, we can then utilize the semi-profile position to our advantage, for instance, to deflect the blow or to minimize its potential impact. Easily evade the strikes. So keep in mind that during footwork, lateral movements and spins on whatever platform or target you have, you shouldn't break the shoulder alignment. With that same semi-profile shoulder position, you should be able to perform your footwork so that you get hit less and can deliver the best and highest quality strikes with full power to your opponent. Well, dear friends, I want to explain to you an item that is very important regarding the half-blade style. When we are facing the opposing boxer, we generally start our striking utilizing a half-blade style. But it's important to note, when we get much closer to each other and want to perform well for close combat, after we successfully approach the opponent using the half-blade style and reach our intended target, our body straightens up completely while maintaining standard head movements for awareness. We have both taken up the formal half-blade boxing stance. From this position, I initiate an attack using the half-blade style and begin to move in. Now, when I come in, drop your hands for a moment. When I come in with the half-blade style, meaning safely, my body straightens. This means my upper body naturally straightens out, but because of the continuous head movements I'm making while throwing my own punches, the short punches coming from my opponent are not going to hit me. So let me demonstrate. It looks like this, always keeping the guard up. As you can see, my left side is now straightened out. Now you try. Move from left to right and go. My body's in a straight line right now, but I want you to go ahead and use these twists. This particular situation, where I come out of the defensive half-blade style and straighten my body up, is a maneuver that happens when I get extremely close, within a foot or even closer, to the opposing boxer who is directly in front of me. So, to demonstrate, it will go something like this. by fully engaging the rotational movement of my shoulders as I throw my punches. My body immediately straightens, and my head, with a series of those standard, well-practiced twists, dodges the incoming punches. All right, dear friends, now I want to explain an item to you that's very important for our half-blade style. When we're facing the opponent boxer, we start throwing punches using the half-blade stance. But for those moments when we get very close to each other and want to ensure we can perform effectively in close combat, after we carefully approach the opponent by utilizing the half-blade stance and successfully reach our intended target, our body straightens out, but with standard twists, our heads are in a double boxer stance, the Nimtik style. I attack with the Nimtik style and move in. Now, when I come in, put your hands down for a moment. When I come in with the Nimtik style, meaning safely, I move in. My body straightens out, meaning my upper body becomes straight, but the straightness is such that with the standard twists I do during strikes, the short punches coming from the opponent don't hit me. That is, like this, with a high guard. Now to the left, my body is now straight. Move left and right. My body is straight now, but with these twists, go ahead. So in this particular situation, what happens is that when I transition out of the semi-side stance and fully straighten my body up, this is typically going to be when I find myself at about an arm's length or possibly even a little bit closer while directly facing the boxer who is positioned in front of me. It looks something like this. Go ahead. With the twist of my shoulders as I throw my punches, my body instinctively straightens, and my head, by using those standard practice twists, successfully manages to avoid the incoming punches. So to begin, we have two boxers here, facing off against one another in a semi-side stance, and they are actively boxing with each other. Because of the specific distance we've kept, and also due to this semi-side stance, we can consider ourselves to be in a relatively safe position for the moment. Now let's consider the moment when I want to move in. As my upper body begins to straighten, it's at this point that I will definitely make use of those important twists. You'll see my shoulders are now straight, but a key consequence is that my head ends up in the opponent's blind spots. This specific positioning is what makes it entirely possible for me to throw quick, short punches.